Even better. Okay, let's watch, like I said, we got a quick video on rotations, and then we will talk about what we watched. Ready? So it's a minute and a half, so everybody stop what you're doing, look up at the board. Stop with the phones, put the phones away, or I'll take the phones. Juan, I'll take the phone, put it away. Okay.
Rotation describes how an object turns around a point. It's used to describe the movement of geometric shapes. For example, if you tack up only one corner of a rectangular sign, what's going to happen? The sign slings down. It has a rotation around the tack, but geometrically, it's the same shape. Rotation is really common. The triangles that make up spokes on this bike wheel are rotating around the center axle. Mathematicians use rotation to describe shapes on a coordinate plane too. Check out this triangle. In mathematical language, we'd show it like this, which describes the points of the triangle's vertices based on where they're located on the coordinate plane. To rotate an object, you first need to choose the center of rotation. This is the point that you'll rotate the object around. To make it easy, we'll choose point 0, 0, or the origin, on this coordinate plane. When we rotate the shape, we need to keep the shape exactly the same distance or equidistant from the center of rotation all the way around. If we rotate the triangle 1/4 turn around the point of origin, counterclockwise, keeping the point of rotation exactly the same, then the triangle moves to a different place on the coordinate plane. The triangle shape stays the same, but the triangle has rotated, and the points used to describe the triangle have also changed. To show that a triangle has rotated, we use a little symbol like this. So now we have turned a geometric shape around a point. That's what rotation means. We can use it to move shapes and describe their movement.
Okay, so a couple things that are important in that video. Number one, you have to rotate around a point, okay? And when we are going to talk about our points today, we are only going to rotate around the center of the graph, the origin at 0, 0, okay? So every time we rotate, it's always going to be around the center of the graph. And so at the top over here where it says a rotation is a circular movement around a center or point of rotation, we're always going to use 0, 0. It's also called the origin, right? But that's what we are going to continue to rotate around. The other thing that's important about rotations is you can turn a figure to the left. You also can turn a figure to the right. And so it's important to know the difference between the two and which way you're rotating them. Yes?
So will we always have 0, 0, or were there like?
For our purposes, yes, we will always have 0, 0.
But there will be a point where it's like 1 and 0 or something like that?
There could potentially be, but I don't think that we're going to ever talk about that.
So in a test or something like that?
I think on the midterm, I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure the midterm's only at 0, 0.
Only at 0, 0?
Yeah. You could rotate around another point, it's just a little bit more work.
Well, I mean, yeah, but on like a quiz or test.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you anything that's not 0, 0. Okay. Now, there's two different ways you can turn. You can turn to the right and you can turn to the left. If you're turning to the right, that is called clockwise. Yep. So clockwise is to the right. And obviously, counterclockwise is to the left. Right? So to the right or to the left. Counterclockwise. Now, again, I have to check. I am pretty sure on your midterm that they're only going to do counterclockwise, but I have to definitely double check that one. For our purposes, we're going to use counterclockwise. It's just the most widely used. I am not going to write the word counterclockwise every time. I'm going to put CCW for counterclockwise, and then I'm just going to put CW for clockwise. And I do think that when you get to the midterm, they do write it like this. They'll put CCW, and you have to realize that means go to the left, go counterclockwise, okay? So there are a couple different ways that we can rotate a picture, okay? So we can go to the right, we can go to the left, but here's my little picture here. Show my little rotation. I've got my triangle over here is in, that's not a very good picture, I'm sorry, but I've got my triangle over here. It's on the right, it's in the coordinate over here. And when we rotate by 90s, okay? So I could take this picture and I could rotate it 90 degrees to the left. So that would go from this first right angle to the second one. This is my center point at 0, 0. So I could turn it 90 degrees and it's going to end up over here. If I then move it another 90 degrees, how many degrees was that in total? 180, right? So I can go 180 degrees, which then lands up over here. And then if I went another 90 degrees, that's 3 in total, 270 degrees, good. So I went 1 is 90, 2 is 180, 3 is 270. And then what is it if I go all the way back to the beginning again? A 360. Yep, I go back to my original point at the center. So this is actually the graph of picture number 1, rotation number 1. And so what we're going to do for number 1 is we're taking this picture here and I'm rotating it to the left counterclockwise 90 degrees. So what you should notice is I'm going from, this is the first quadrant, right? And I'm going all the way over here into the second quadrant on the left. So in my picture for number 1, I'm only going to walk you through the first one because I think you guys are going to be able to pick it up pretty quickly. For the first one, how do you know, just really quickly without looking over here, which one your pre-image is? What's the what? The one without the tick marks. Okay, so this one over here, this one is my pre-image. I'm going to put a pre on the inside. There's my pre-image, my first picture. So these are the coordinates of my pre-image. So maybe this is when I would use one color for your pre-image, highlight it. And then I'm going to take that pre-image, like I said, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to the left counterclockwise. So it's going over this way, 90 degrees. And this is now my image over here. So we're going to take this for a second. We're going to write the coordinates of my image now. Coordinates of the image. So we're going to start with V prime up here. What are the coordinates of V prime? V prime up here. First one. That would be X prime, friend. I'm talking about V up here. Top one. V, yep, first one, V prime. -1, comma 4. And if it helps you, maybe put like a point at 0, 0 to remember that's what you're rotating around. That's your center point. Okay, what about W prime all the way over here? -4, 2. And then the last one, X prime, 0, 2. Good. Now, first thing we want to do is we just want to write in words what's happening, what the rule is. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to cover it up. We're just going to look at our V's. Okay. What do you seem to notice? They change positions. Okay, they trade places. And what else is happening? Oh, the X or the Y? Which one? The original Y is now changing, right? It's not the X that's changing. We always start with the pre-image, right? So it's my Y value that's changing. Does that work for the next one? Yep, and does that work for the last one? Yeah, but 0, right? We can't change because it's a 0. So my rule in words is my X and my Y are trading places or change positions, whatever you want to write. And the original Y value now changes signs. It becomes negative. So my Y changes signs. So if I were to write it as a mapping notation, as a rule, I would write it as XY becomes what? Perfect. -YX. Okay, I believe in you. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want you to do rotation 2 and 3. Write in words what the rule is, what it looks like. If you can write it as a mapping notation too, that would be really cool. And then if you can try those examples 1, 2, and 3 on the front as well. So I'll give you about, I'll give you like 6 minutes, and then we will check our work together, okay? But I think you can figure out what the rules are without me having to walk you through them all. So take a sec and give it a try. You can definitely talk to each other, that's fine. Yes, I do. I do. Mm-hmm. Bless you. I'll give you like 1 more minute. Yeah? 1 more minute.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll be okay.
like we are ready to at least take a look at those rotation rules. Okay, so let's take a look at rotation 2. So let's just check your work with mine real quick. For your coordinate points, H prime is 0, -3. I prime is -3, -4. And J prime is, excuse me, -4, -2. Are we good there? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Cool. All right. Who can tell me what seems to be the rule in words? Aiden, what do you think? X and Y change signs. Do they trade positions? No, they stay in the same position. Very nice. So X and Y change signs. So we write it as -X, -Y. Yes, Erin? Huh? Where? Where's there?
90 degrees.
Yes, it's 180. Thank you. Ta-da.
Oh, he tried out. He was testing out.
Yeah, I was definitely testing. I was seeing if you could see that I had made a mistake, right? It's all about that. Yeah. Huh? This wasn't a mistake. This was obviously purposeful. Clearly purposeful. Okay. I do like to write, though, minus that one, typically what the degree is. And it should kind of be easy, too, to tell just by looking at a picture. Like this one went from the first quadrant, and then it went to it didn't go to the second, it went to the third one. So you know you're doing 290 degrees. That means it's 180, right? So it should be kind of easy to tell when you're looking at a picture which rotation it is. Do we have questions on that one, or we feel okay? We feel good? All right. Last one, then rotation 3 is, rotation 3 is counterclockwise. So my image coordinates are 2, -3. X prime is 3, -4. And Y prime is 1, -4. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We good there? Okay. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the rule seems to be? Kiki, what do you think? Perfect. X and Y change positions or trade places, and then the X changes signs. How do you write that as a rule, Kiki? Beautiful. Y and then -X. Fantastic. So now, right below our summary of our results, right? That's like the most important part. I just rewrote my results there, but I also added in one more. I added in the 360. What happens there?
It
It stays the same. Perfect. Hey, what's going on?
Did Miss O'Brien get the carpet you had a week ago or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, did we do the examples, or shall we walk through them together? Check our work. We shall walk through them together. Let us do that. Okay, so example 1 says, give the coordinates of the points after a rotation of 270 degrees. So my rule for 270, come back up here, is that the X and Y changes positions, and then the X value will change signs. So personally, I like to write the rule down next to it just so I don't mess myself up, okay? So A, notice that these 3 points are all exactly the same. They're staying the same. A is at 4, 6. What does A prime become?
6 and -4.
Yay. 6 and -4. Good. Trade places, X changes signs. What does -5, 2 become for B prime?
2 and 5.
2 and a +5. Good. Changes signs. And then the last one, 0, -12 becomes what? -12 and 0. It doesn't change signs. That's the Y. So keep it as a -12. And you can't change 0, right? That just stays the same. Good. Example 2 is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So 90 degrees means the X and Y trade places, and then this time the Y changes sign. So if we start at 4, 6, -6, 4. Good. What would E prime be? And -5. Yep, keep that 5 the same. And then my last one from 0, -12 becomes what?
12 and 0.
Perfect. You guys are getting the hang of it. Okay, 180s I think are the easiest ones, right? Because you don't have to change any positions. You just got to change the signs. So 4, 6 becomes, good. Just put a negative in front of them. -5, 2 becomes +5, -2. And last, 0, -12 becomes 0, 12. Good. You feel pretty good? It's not too bad, right? Okay, now flip it to the back. 15. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, on the back side, here's what you're going to do. Obviously, you are going to do numbers 4 through 7, and you're going to take some time to practice rotating. So here's my suggestion. Write the coordinates first, graph it second. Okay, the graph is really more there for you just to like visualize and see, but you should be able to kind of tell where your graph goes. Yes, I would like you to. I think it's good practice. Technically speaking, look, these are your notes. And if you feel that you don't want them on your notes, then that's up to you. That's your prerogative. But don't come crying to me later. But your prerogative, okay? It's your notes. You do what you need. Then go home crying. Love it. Love it. I love math. It makes people cry. Okay. We are going to jump, though, to number 8. I want to do number 8 with you, and then I'm going to stop talking and let you try the backside for a little bit of practice. Okay. Number 8 says, describe the transformation that maps the pre-image to the image. Now, of these two, which one's your pre-image? The ones without the primes. Yes. So this top one here is your pre-image. Label that. Top one's your pre-image, which means the bottom one is your image. So you're going from this one to this one. Okay. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to pick one point from the pre-image. And I'm going to put a point at 0, 0 so I remember, hey, we're rotating around the center. You're going to pick one point from the pre-image. It does not matter which point you pick. I'm going to pick point G just because it's all by itself up there. Point G. All I want you to do is write the coordinates of point G. Who can give me the coordinates of point G? -2, good. So 2 to the left, and then up 3, +3. Now, all you're going to do is you're going to compare that to, on your new picture, you need to pick the same point. So since we picked G, I'm going to pick G prime, which is right here. And you're going to do the same thing. We're going to write down the coordinates of that point. What are the coordinates of G prime? Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, -3, -2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if this is your original right here, right? This is your original 2 points. These are your X's and your Y's. What happened to go to G prime? Did they stay the same? Did they trade places? Did they change signs? What happened?
Trade places and Y change signs.
So they traded places. The original Y, oh, this is a -2. That's why my bad, sorry. The original Y changed signs. The original Y changed signs. So it became -YX. Now, if you flip back to the front, which rule says this right here? 90 degrees what? Counterclockwise. That's important. You do have to say which direction you go. So this right here is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we're going from this blue one to the purple one. That's going to the left. Counterclockwise. That's the answer. That's all I'm looking for. 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. So you're going to take some time right now. You're going to practice your rotations there. We've got about, I don't know, like 13-ish minutes. So take a little bit of time right now. I want you to work on that back side, and then we'll check it in a little bit. And here's what I'll do. I will flip back to this side, so that way you don't have to keep going back and forth with the rules. Okay.
I was thinking Wednesday, but it feels like a Monday.
It does kind of, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave this right here for you so you don't have to keep flipping back and forth.